Chief of Light is back with another epic video. Hi, my name is PB, but you lovely people are more than welcome to call me Peeps. Today we are finally tackling this somewhat of a hot button topic, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know why it's a hot button topic. Final Fantasy XIV is not for everyone, and we're gonna talk about it. And I'm saying this as somebody who is smitten by the game, someone who loves the game, who wants to spend more time. I wish I could quit my job to play the goddamn game. Love it. Or no one's quitting jobs today. Before giving my reasons, I want to set the stage. Games are a demographic, and they are sold as a demographic. So that means there are games that are designed to be played fast and hard, to where there are quick matches, quick bursts of energy, done. There are games that are meant to be played at longer intervals, RPGs, heavy storylines, mature storylines. Some are meant to not be very intensive with what you need to do, but are meant to relax. So there's a lot of demographics there. It goes also a little bit deeper when it comes to gameplay. Let me give you an example. World of Warcraft is a game that is very quick-paced, in the sense that you get the quest, you don't read it. You go kill some boars, you come back with border pieces or whatever, get the next quest, move on. You do this for a while, you might get a small cinematic of a situation. The cinematic isn't a 10-minute cinematic, it is 2. Which again, we're talking demographics. Is it right? Is it wrong? You can argue that in another day. But that's what the game is. It's meant to be short bursts of interesting gameplay. It's not meant to be a shooter. It's not meant to be played in 20-minute intervals, or 10-minute intervals, or 5-minute intervals. You see what I mean? Final Fantasy XIV does many things right. But the first thing we need to make conscious is that it is a RPG before an MMO. Its base of gameplay is story driven. Okay, so you are going to experience a lot of story and not a lot of that action I just described. So what that means is that a starting player needs 3 to 6 months, depending on how fast you play. I play slow, to get through the entire storyline before you're into constant action bits or constantly doing what you want. Or you can deviate from the story for a while and do stuff you want and come back later. Regardless, if the end game is what you're interested in, 3 to 6 months. Now, a lot of Final Fantasy players look at me and go, Peeps, you can PvP all the way to the top. You can. It's not nearly as quick, and it's not an obvious choice. Plus, you don't have access to any of the dungeons, any of the raids, nothing. Getting to max level is really just a checkbox. It's not, for you to be able to play the game to its fullest, you need to do the story. But Peeps, you can purchase a boost. And that's a perfect product for that type of person. It really is. Should you have to? Not that you want to surpass people. That's not the idea. But I mean, if you're that type of player who is action-oriented, who just wants to get there, kill some monsters, always be doing something, this game may not be for you. If I told you you had to buy the DLC to get the story of Call of Duty, would that be acceptable to you? No, it wasn't acceptable then, it's not acceptable now. You should be able to enjoy a game that you purchased, let alone purchasing it with all its expansions. So if you're a new player who is looking to keep your hands occupied, kill some monsters consistently, and just keep busy like that, Final Fantasy is not for you. And my husband's actually in this category, completely. He had to give up, he made it level 50, he did Praetorium. He's like, that was the coolest thing of the last 2 months. And that's all that was. I also don't think that this game is for people who are on the cusp and struggling to still be there the next day. Please hope you understand that insinuation. Let me go further. Shadowbringers was a hard expansion. I'm not going to lie to you, it was very difficult. But the stories that you're dealing with are other people's stories for the most part, and you're there and you're part of it, but you're not. Endwalker hits different. Endwalker really hits different. You really go through somebody else's storyline, but it touches so close to humanity that it's difficult. There's some moments that are very difficult, especially if you are currently in full depression. There's a moment about halfway through that is very difficult when you're meeting some new characters and you figure out what was actually going on in the grand scheme. Whew. But in the last zone, if you don't complete it in one playthrough, that can be incredibly difficult. And the themes are very, very difficult. And I admit that if this is too difficult for you, or you need some time and some help, take it. It may not be for you, and it's okay to sit back and be like, you know what, I'm good. I'm good. Just get the story. There are also moments that are very hard outside the MSQ to hit you in the face real hard. We're lit. We're lit. Holy shit, we're lit. I'm a mother of two. We're lit. We're lit was the first time that I ugly cried, and it wasn't necessarily because of this is happening to so-and-so. I like so-and-so. This was because that it was a real world experience that you could bring back in, and you, as a parent, your heart sank into your stomach. I wasn't ready for that. I'm not gonna lie to anybody. This game can be hard, especially if you're not ready for it. This game is also not for the person who plays the typical MMO. Yeah, no, I'm saying that. Basically, most MMOs are played in large bursts. Day one release means you need to be pushing it to the very end, so you can get your dailies done at end level as fast as you can, so you can get your new gear, your new grinds on, so you can start with the end world content. You need to do that now. What are you waiting for? And it's not that it doesn't respect your time, it's just that MMO players tend to be the players that will play it hard for 3 months and then have nothing to do. Final Fantasy XIV may not be for you if you're that type of player. And it's okay. Like, I'm not judging anybody's play style. Your fun is your fun. But this thing is not an attack against you. It's the idea that Final Fantasy XIV gives you a huge story, which is great, especially if you like story. And then the content is okay. It's meant to be reasonable. It's not meant to be abundant. It's not meant to be a grind. It's not meant to suck the life out of you. In fact, the director, Yoshida, or yoshi-p, 100% promotes the idea of playing other games while playing Final Fantasy XIV. Or if you need a break, take a break. You'll be back when you're ready. The idea is that falling behind is a lot less of a thing in this game. So again, if you're the type of person who plays MMOs hard, this game may be boring for you. I can see people getting a little bit too much of it or starting to branch out a little bit. I don't think this is a bad point. It's given me the opportunity to play other games and still have fun and still want to come back to Final Fantasy XIV on the every second day or third day or sometimes daily. But again, that's not for everybody. And the last one is financial. Final Fantasy XIV has a monthly subscription. Yes, there are 2 subscription models, one that is cheaper. It is called Entry, and you can have one character on 5 realms or 8 realms, but only one. The whole point is that yes, there are 2 options, there's a cheaper one, but still, this is a subscription service. Game Pass is $7 a month on PC and Canadian, and you have hundreds of games. Netflix, Hulu, HBO, Crave. I don't need to tell you what subscription services are like long term. Because now everything comes with subscription. My fucking razor blades are subscription service. So I get it if someone says, I can't do it. Cannot. the bar is too high here. And I get that. No one is arguing that. And I didn't even talk about inflation and shit. Just the subscription service model is a lot. And I think one day MMOs will be out of it completely. Why? Because Game Pass. The idea that you can get so much for so little will be the model eventually, the Netflix of gaming. That's what we wanted with that little Google console they had made. That was the goal. But as services get better for gaming and predatory in the sense of subscription based, I think paying X for one game is eventually going to slip out. And Final Fantasy XIV, I'd love to see their numbers because they also have a very, very popular cash shop. So they're making coin. Regardless, I think the world is eventually moving that way to where one game, not so much. But I also understand if you're like, hey, listen, I can't do it. Actually, the barrier for me a year ago to not play Final Fantasy XIV was financial. Why pay 2 subscription fees for 2 MMOs, one that I'll play on the weekends? It was a lot. And then Blizz went and did what fucking Blizz did, so the decision was easy there. But you see where I'm going. Bonus, you may just not like it. For whatever reason, you just may not jive. That's okay. That happens. We've all got that one popular game that we don't jive with. Fallout series for me. Fallout 3 and 4. Don't get it. Can't get into them. I finished Fallout 4 and the main story was okay. Had some good moments, but once I was finished the main story, I was like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Side quest stink. I'm good. So we all have those types of games where like, no thanks. So what do you guys think? Let me know what reasons held you back initially, or do you know people that don't like the game for such reasons? Let me know in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give me a big old thumbs up. And if you didn't, well, cool. Be honest with me, I'm a big girl, I can handle it. And don't forget, if you like videos like these, you like getting nerdy, you like Final Fantasy, you like gaming, hit that subscribe button. We do this shit a lot. Alright, well have a legendary day. Thanks so much for being here, and I can't wait to see you guys again on the next one. Bye. No, seriously, Fallout 3 and 4, fuck them. I hate it. 3, like, with a capital, hate it. 4, tolerable. This wasn't for me. The only game I've ever seen where I have not met a person dislike was Minecraft. You can't dislike Minecraft, can you? Maybe I'm a little